Well, Philip Strother, thank you so much for joining us for this wonderful conversation about Philip Carter Winery. It's great to meet you here on Zoom and to have the opportunity for you to tell us a little bit about that family history and exactly how Philip Carter Winery came about. So tell us a little bit about the winery.
Well, it's absolutely my pleasure, and thank you so much for having me on today. Really appreciate that. So, Philip Carter Winery is a dream come true. It was an opportunity to bring the story of the Carter family back to life as it relates to wine production here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. 2008, when we decided to purchase the property here in Hume, Virginia, we set out to re-engage the Carter family or retell the story of the Carters and their involvement in wine production that happened back in the 1700s here in Virginia. And that was the goal in mind when we set out to embark on Philip Carter Winery.
That is awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about the family history, about Philip Carter and Charles Carter, and how the wine industry played in your family way back when.
Sure. Well, as you know, Virginians have had a long history, beautiful history with wine that goes back hundreds and hundreds of years, 400 years for that matter. It was back in 1619 that colonial Virginia decided as the 12th law, 12th most important law in the state of Virginia, or the colony of Virginia, they decided to pass Act 12, which required every landowner to plant 10 vines in Virginia. And that was intended to promote viticulture and the wine industry way back in the very foundation of Virginia. The Carter family has been involved in Virginia for many centuries, and in the 1700s, Charles Carter, one of my relatives, was involved in the Virginia House of Burgesses, and he sat on the Economic Commission. And as part of that, they identified the wine industry as an industry that they should focus on as an alternative to tobacco growing at that time. And so they set out to establish a Virginia wine industry, if you will, at that time. Charles Carter in 1762 produced his wines and sent them over to London, where they were received by the Royal Society of the Arts, and they were recognized as being of excellent quality. And it's our understanding that that was the first time in recorded history for America that wines received international acclaim for being of excellent quality. And so our involvement with wine goes back centuries, and we're real proud of that particular story here at Philip Carter Winery.
Oh, and you certainly should be. I love that you put this on the back of the bottle, that it received, what was it? The medal by the Royal Society of Encouragement of the Arts.
That's right.
Okay, I love that.
And that's great. And you know what? Just so you can see, we actually had a replica made of the medal. Can we see this? Can we hold that up? Okay.
Perfect.
All right. This is actually what the medal looked like. I had the privilege and opportunity to go into the archives at the Royal Society over in London. I traveled over there to really get to the bottom of this great story. And I met with their chief archivist, and we went through a lot of the documents back in the 1700s and the correspondence back and forth between the Carters and the Royal Society, talking about which vines to plant and how various ones were doing, and that there was a Portuguese vines that Carter was growing. And I had an opportunity to see some of those medals that were in the archives that were back from the 1700s. And so we were able to digitize one of those medals, and we had a renowned sculptor recreate the medal. His name's Paul Di Pasquale, and he is the same sculptor who did the famed Neptune down at Virginia Beach, the massive sculpture that's down there at Virginia Beach on the boardwalk. And so this one was a different scale, yeah, obviously, the little medal and that's related to it, all the details. But he took that on and he made that for us. And I also, we had one of the medals reproduced into a gold medallion, and that was presented to the First Lady of Virginia, Lady McDonald, when Governor McDonald was the governor of Virginia.
Well, tell me, how did you decide on the property where you have your winery? Was that something that was handed down through the family, or did you purchase it and decide that that's where you wanted to grow grapes?
The property where Philip Carter Winery is located in Hume is located about 10 miles away from where the Strother family farm is located, which is Valley View Farm. And in Valley View Farm, if you're not familiar with that, there's a wonderful pick-your-own operation there with peaches and apples and blueberries and cherries, and a farmer's market as well. And so the Hume site where Philip Carter is located is in close proximity to that location. I felt that it was just the right site to start and to move forward with telling the Carter story and our involvement with wine production back in the 1700s.
Yeah, well, Philip, I love your wines, and I just want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to feature some of them, and I can't wait for you to see what I make with them.
I am so looking forward to tasting your creations, and I really thank you for the opportunity to chat with you.
Absolutely, our pleasure. Thank you so much, and to you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.